Oh my gosh, I really don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna. Boom! That's so stupid. Oh my gosh, is this a bad angle? Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm on my way to the office. This is like the first week where I really have to do engineering work now. This morning, my manager Michael messaged me being like, we're gonna open up your annual review assessment for the last year. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be fine. I feel like I know it's going to be like the meets expectations rating. A part of me is always worried to hear negative feedback. I think I'm just really bad at taking criticism. And what's weird is with work, a part of me is like, I don't care because work is work. Like, do I really want to be known for someone that's like good at their career? I want to be known for someone that like works hard, of course, but I think I'm always just scared to have like negative criticism when it comes to work for whatever reason. I don't know why. Michael basically released it to me and I was like, okay, it looks fine, but there's a rebuttal that I have for everything that he basically said. Anything that was negative, and I'm like, dang, am I just taking all the negative things the wrong way and just being defensive? And I know that there is obviously some merit to the things that he's saying. For example, the short amount of time that I was actually working on the team and doing engineering work, I thought I was doing really good work. There was one issue with the project I was working on because there were a lot of like dependencies of the things that I was like migrating. So essentially, I work on like the developer experience team where I help other developers do their jobs well. If there is a component that a bunch of other people are using to build Google Cloud and there's an issue with it, there's so many use cases of this like old version or bad version of this component. So what I have been doing is implementing this new version and then migrating everyone to be on this like new version that I implement, but you have to do it in a way where it's like it works with both the old and the new. Then you get rid of all the old instances, then you officially migrate to the new one. But because it's so complicated, it's kind of impossible in my opinion to migrate everyone over, because the way that the API is and how you use this component, it's just people can do really wacky and strange things. So I proactively made everyone aware that there was an issue with like dependencies where like this component doesn't stand alone. Like if you depend on this component, then I can't migrate the ones that then like have all these interesting dependencies. That's like at a high level what's going on. But I told Michael and whoever was on my team that this came up, and my like refute to this, I guess like hiccup, is that knowing what we do now, would I have changed the process in any way? I think the answer would be no. I would have still implemented this way. I still would have migrated people this way. The thing that was like complicated, I think, is above my scope of like knowledge, and therefore like I couldn't really figure out a good way to like, I guess, change it, if that makes sense, and like do anything differently. Like maybe if I was like better at understanding like Angular and how it works and all its dependencies, like I could figure out a solution. Then my question is that really the engineering effort that we want to have and like put in effort into doing that? I would say no, because I think a good solution for where we want to be is we have a solution where going forward people use this new implementation, stop using the old one, and then if they need to migrate things over, they do so, right? Because it's dependent on like who is going through this like VPAT accessibility like audit. Maybe this is like something I should be better at, but I'm always like, I still feel like I'm right and this is why I'm right. And maybe I'm just like too stubborn, but I want to be evaluated for my engineering abilities and like whatever for the time that I was working as an engineer. And I don't want the perception and the narrative to be like, oh, Jessica was only working for a few months and that's kind of bad, so therefore I'm going to say that she's in the lower range of this like meets expectations group of people. But I do get it, like it wasn't ideal that I found out later on that there's this issue that led me to not be able to complete the project to what I thought was, you know, how many people I was going to be able to migrate over. Like initially I thought I could migrate over 85%, but then it turns out to be maybe like 75%, which is still pretty good. But yeah, that solution had to happen. Like I had to create that accessible solution. So it's tough because on one hand I'm like, why is this such a like blameless thing where we have, or sorry, blameful thing where you have to find one thing that's wrong and therefore point it out and say this is wrong, you know what I mean? Versus like, we came up with this decision all together. There was reviews of it. It's not really like there's anything wrong. I don't know, but then as a manager, it's like you have to say something that's wrong, I guess. See, and then I'm like, oh dang, like it's so interesting because Michael always is so nice to me and treats me like somebody that is competent when I'm like secretly deep down, do you actually think I'm incompetent? And then I'm like, I have like much more of an admiration for him because I think when I think people are really bad at their jobs, I then don't like them because I'm like, you guys are stupid and incompetent. But I think when I was a teacher, I was worried that I would favor students that were like better and smarter and working hard. And that wasn't true. I felt like I was still really kind and really nice and really encouraging with all the students that were not like performing well. But maybe I'm like, dang, I don't really know what Michael thinks. And I think I just don't take criticism well when I want people to like me. Especially if it's like your manager at work, you know? Like you want them to like you, obviously. So I don't know. I kind of feel a little bummed, but also like I kind of expected to get that feedback. I guess maybe why I feel bummed is like the expectation reality of like what I didn't expect was this scope creep happened and Jessica should have known this earlier. But in my opinion, it's like you're not supposed to do things right the first time. You should like be able to learn how to proactively like adjust and correct if necessary and use all the information you know to then make the right decision. Not necessarily on your own, but be able to like go to other people who might be more well-versed or informed or more of a, subject matter expertise in some subject and then utilize them, right? And so my manager, I feel like, should then be able to say like, okay, reach out to this person or do this or this or this. And like, it's so much of a like, this is what Jessica did. This is what she did wrong. And this is how you compare her to everyone else on the team and how they are. Like, it just feels too much like that to me. Okay, I'm gonna go now.